Good afternoon. It's December 4th. Kind of an odd time again. Got all the chores done for the day of running around and buying groceries and stuff. So going out to get my walk in. I think we're just going to walk down Regina Avenue today. So this thing gets pointed in the right direction. That would be good. So that means getting over to the good old footbridge. Although I guess I could go... Maybe I'll go this way. Go across the Albert Street Bridge and make all of the walk along Regina Avenue. It's not too bad a day. It's right around freezing. But there is snow coming overnight and into tomorrow. We'll see how much. A couple of inches maybe. So it should be wider tomorrow when I get out for my walk, probably. Probably slipperier too is the only problem with that. But shouldn't be too bad today, I hope. We got our Christmas tree. Bought it on Wednesday, and somebody with a truck helped me go pick it up today because they couldn't deliver it until next Saturday, which seemed an extremely long time to wait. So we'll get the lights on it tomorrow and slowly decorate it over the week, I would think. Has to be decorated by the time Alice gets here, although we'll save some of her favorite ornaments for her to put on the tree. She gets back from university 2 weeks from Monday. And she'll be home for 3 weeks, which will be nice. Trying to think if anything else exciting has happened. Not so much. Sending emails to independent bookstores across the country, urging them to stock Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. I've gotten as far as, starting from the east, I've gotten as far as through Quebec into Ontario. Pretty sure it was just English language bookstores on this mailing list I have. And I do each one individually because you don't want it to show up as spam. Which if you do a big blind carbon copy, that's what happens. Sometimes you get flagged for being spammy. So it's a slow process. And it might not even result in any sales, but it's worth doing. And once I've established, with the bookstores that they perhaps recognize the name Shut Up All Press, then I will continue to approach them as I publish new stuff going forward. As you can see, it's quite a gray day today. Probably start, by the time I get back, sunset is 4:56 and I'm starting at, basically I started at 4:15, so sun will be down by the time I get home, probably. So, start to see Christmas lights popping out again. Actually, they're already popping out over here on the house I showed the other day that always has quite a display. I put up our little bit of lights yesterday and even put some in the backyard on a bush back there that will probably keep up. They're white, so we can keep them up in the summer as well. Dogs. There's always dogs. Hi, Rocky. In Manitoba. How are you? Only the streets that are icy at the moment. The sidewalks are pretty good. We'll cross on the Albert Street Bridge this time to get down to Regina Avenue. There's the lake, of course, which I walked around on Friday. Not nearly as pretty now as it was Friday morning as the sun was coming up. So I like to say this whole neighborhood is called Lakeview, but these houses along here are pretty much the only ones that actually have a lake view, especially up from the top there. They even have a deck up there with the view. The flags are Union Jacks, Canadian flags, and Saskatchewan flags. Oh, Nanaimo. I read that as Manitoba. That's because I don't have my reading glasses. That's why I said hi for Manitoba. Nanaimo, yes. Been to Nanaimo. Wouldn't say I know it well, but I've been there. There's the creek, of course. Quite thoroughly frozen. It's supposed to be minus 22 on Sunday night. And a high of minus 18, which is 0 Fahrenheit on Monday. So I'll be dressing warmer for my walks next week. That's what that means. All right, this gets us off of Albert Street because there's a turning lane here. So you come off the bridge proper. Actually, maybe I'll walk down the alley. Well, the houses are more interesting, but the ice looks bad up here. I'll go down here at least to start with. This is Rotary Park. Be careful along here, and then there's some bare pavement again. There we go. It'll be chilly because we've had some really warm weather just before this, so it's always pretty big swings this time of year. It can be, well, any time of year it can be, but it seems particularly in the fall. Okay, so we're going to walk straight down Regina Avenue, straight as an arrow, all the way down to Pasqua, and then we'll start working our way back. Is the plan. This is the route to the airport. Straight down Regina Avenue takes you straight to Regina International Airport. Takes you about 10 minutes from here. I don't see any Christmas lights popping out just yet, but it's going to get progressively darker as I continue to walk. It's very slippery in spots. Much better than it was a few days ago, thanks to the aforementioned warm weather. It was +7 on 6 or 7 midweek, which certainly helped melt off anything that was exposed to the sun. Anything in the shade, not so much. Oh, there's some Christmas lights. Christmas decorations. Again, I'll do a proper nighttime Christmas light walk at some point further into the month, in a week or two, and probably everybody will have everything up. Probably most people do now. Little pink houses for you and me. Kind of peach, really, not that pink. Some lights going on here. See, it's when you get to the alleys, you have to be careful because it slopes down and it's slippery, and your foot will slide sideways if you're not careful. Having fallen back on November 11th, I'm hypersensitive this year, I've noticed. Mostly older houses along here, but a few new ones interspersed. Like this one, definitely a newer one. One way you can tell is the newer ones are almost always way bigger than what they used to build. Oh, hi, Dwight. Used to know who lived in there. I've been in that house a long, long time ago when I worked at the Science Center. Somebody on the staff worked there, and I remember going, I think it was a Christmas party at her house. Early 90s, probably. A couple other new ones tucked in here. Yes, talk amongst yourselves. A bit of lights on that one. Now here's a couple of the newer ones. This one in particular, both of them take advantage. Oh, it's one. I thought it was two. So there's a good sized one. But it takes advantage of being up against the creek. It's clearly two lots they built one house on. So it has a view over the creek on the other side. And I like this one. It's 50s for sure, I would think. Very modern for its time and still looks cool, I think. So now we're coming up to where the footbridge is that I quite often use to cross the creek. Right over there. I'd say it's three. 3 plus an attic, maybe. I'd have to go back and count. There's the creek. There's the footbridge. That's Monday's walk, is always along the creek in some fashion. I always walk along the creek in my fashion. Do, 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 do. Yes, that's where the footbridge is. Cameron Street. And I used to live right up there on Garnet Street, about 3/4 of the way down that block there, when I first moved to Regina. Well, no, that's not when I first moved here. I lived way up in the northwest, not that far in the northwest, but in the northwest on Sherwood Drive when I first moved here. I only lived there for a couple of years when I moved down here, and I've been in this neighborhood ever since. So but I lived in the condo from 97 till 2006-ish. So almost 10 years in the condo on Scar Street, but that's still basically this neighborhood. A new one over there. They've been working on that one this year. I think they're building it new or they were renovating it, but it's, very different look from the older buildings. The strip mall's been here for a long time, but renovated a few years ago. And the restaurant over there has been there a long time. It's been various things, called various things. It's called Tommy's now. They're in the corner. Used to be called something else. I didn't quite make this light, I don't think. It's the Waterfall Garden, but of course the waterfall is a summer feature, and they don't bother clearing the path down to it there either. And those are fairly new condos there. The Chimney, yeah, that's what it was called. It's not called the Chimney anymore, it's called Tommy's. And I haven't been in there since it's called Tommy's, but I'm pretty sure the old decor is gone. It used to have just stuffed gophers and glass cases on the walls. I remember that. It's not very often you go to a restaurant that has stuffed rodents on the walls. Had pretty good pizza. And I don't know if it's the same owners or what. There's also a lounge attached to it, so there's a restaurant and a lounge area. I used to go over there and write sometimes. It was still the Chimney back then. It hasn't been Tommy's all that long. 5 or 6 years maybe. Maybe less. There's been a convenience store of one sort or another there for a long time. Didn't used to prominently display the vaping connection though, because nobody vaped. This used to be a Christian church, Disciples of Christ. And then recently it was some other kind of evangelical church. And at the moment, I think it's, well, I don't know, I thought it had a for lease sign and it's gone. So maybe it has been picked up by somebody else. But it doesn't currently have a sign about what kind of church it is. So I suspect nobody's meeting there at the moment. Buy it and turn it into a theater. That's what happened to the Artesian on 13. I said, this is a road that, if you're studying perspective, it's a good example of vanishing point. Very long, very straight sidewalk. I like it though because it's so far off the curb, so you don't feel like you're walking right in traffic. Yeah, it was, but at the moment the sign is gone. So I think they've moved out or closed down, or perhaps they couldn't keep the building going when they couldn't have services. I don't know. Yeah, that was the sign that used to be on it, but it's gone now, so I think it's empty at the moment. Don't know that for sure, but just because the sign has vanished makes me think that. Older houses along here have the smaller variety. No lights either, not yet. At least a few patches of ice to watch out for. Keeping an eye on the screen to make sure my sound stays up. Friday, it died halfway around the lake. And I'm thinking I just have to be sure that the mic is 100% charged before every walk. Sheldon Williams Collegiate over there will probably come back by it when I turn around and head the other way. Very subdued Christmas lights. What time is it? The sun will go down in 20 minutes. Sunset is at 4:56 p.m. I checked before I came out. Sitting somewhere in front of us, but you'd never know from the gray skies aren't going to clear up. It's gonna snow tonight, so they say. Back of Sheldon Williams over there, Collegiate. Then as you get further out here, you get some older apartment buildings. The lights up there where we will be reversing direction in some fashion, turning the corner and heading back. Space for rent. Pretty basic. There's two of them there look empty. One there looks empty too, although it doesn't have a sign in the front. Oh, it's got blinds in it. I guess it's not as empty as it looked. Yeah, and it all depends on the population of the area. Sheldon has been there as long as I've been here. Never talked about closing it in any fashion that I've heard. Used to take my daughter there for her band. Swamp. Apartments for rent. More apartments. Sheldon Williams Area Music Program, it's called. So all the elementary schools around here, kids come to Sheldon for the actual band rehearsal and concerts. I went to some, I guess, 2 or 3 elementary school band concerts. There's nothing quite like an elementary school band concert if you're musical. It's a unique form of, it's not quite torture, but it's pretty darn close sometimes. Alice was a trombone player, still has the trombone, but hasn't played for a while. Didn't really play in high school after the first year. Focused more on improv and choir. You can't do everything. One of the hard lessons you learn as you get older. There's some nice lights there. Sad, deflated Christmas decorations. Ooh, another murdered snowman, decapitated, bisected, left to rot in the sun. Getting close to Pasqua here. More ice to watch out for. There's some new houses popping up in this area. Not a lot yet, but location-wise, I mean, that's the airport. From here, I'm a 10-minute walk to the airport. If you were flying out from here, you could easily drag your luggage there. About the same time it would take you to drive and park. No, maybe not easily, it depends on the weather, but could be done. And the Louvain's right there, so it takes like 2 minutes to get there, and then you can get up north part of the city really fast, or out on the Trans-Canada really fast. Downtown is a short drive the other direction. So yeah, it's a really great location, and they say that's everything in real estate. All right, now we will turn north. So yeah, there's the Louvain down there, and then Regina International Airport. Those lights over there past the trees. We're going this way. Some sidewalks that are not as clear, for whatever reason. Be very, very careful. Hunting rabbits. Not really. Just trying not to fall down. It is a nice place. Smaller houses here, but nice. Nice neighborhood. We're going to go to the left here. Still some berries left on the trees. Mountain ash, I think that is. Oh, and hi, Mariano. I didn't really say hi. I just responded to your comment. We will go this way. Which sidewalk looks the easiest to walk on? Neither, so let's just take our chances. Woof, 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 woof. They're not barking at me. Sounds like there's some kids over there playing. They might be barking at me, but I don't think so. Possibly just barking at each other. Possibly just barking because they're dogs. That's what dogs do. 10 points for anybody that recognizes that reference. Anyone? Okay, I'll tell you. In Sherlock, the version with Benedict Cumberbatch, Moriarty is told, I don't remember if it's by Sherlock or by Watson, people have died, and he says, that's what people do. When it comes to barking, that's what dogs do. Oh, that's all. Yeah, they do that here too, actually. As of this year, there's a new bylaw that you have to clear your sidewalk within 48 hours. Now, sometimes the weather just, you can clear your sidewalk and it still gets icy because of snow melt. And I think this first year, because it's new, they're talking about more like warnings rather than fines, but they will get to where they're giving fines. And there are certainly places where I would be happy if they were fined, although I'm not so happy if I'm a little late getting mine. I'd have to, I guess I wouldn't. Yes, I think so. You're right. This is Edward Street, I believe. Around here somewhere, which I approve of, that being my name. I remember seeing it last time I walked in this neighborhood, noticing that there was a street sign that said Edward. Usually when I've walked along here, I've come the other way along the creek and then come down here. So this is, although it's a repeat walk, I've never walked it in this direction. That makes it brand new. The nice thing about this is that there's no reason at all to drive down here unless you're coming here. So it's a very quiet neighborhood, traffic-wise. This just doesn't go anywhere. Oh, here's one for sale. Let's see what it looks like. There it is. It's quite peach. I have thought, what if I approached real estate agents and said I'd do a walk in their neighborhoods? They'd pay me to walk around and show people what the neighborhood around houses for sale look like. Oh, I didn't know ACTRA's office of any sort was around here. I'm not an ACTRA member. I'm an equity member, but I've never done enough film or television. Okay, I want to go over to the alley now. I've never done enough film or television to earn my ACTRA membership. But I am a Canadian Actors Equity member, so if I did get hired, I believe there's an agreement where if you're an equity member, you get your ACTRA membership much more readily should you get a speaking role in an ACTRA production. I think that's true. I'm going to go up and walk on this bit of a dike here. Oh, well, no. I was thinking it'd be easier, but maybe once I get over here, the ice is cleared and I can stay down here. Except it looks more interesting up there. We'll climb up the hill. The snow is really frozen hard. Almost supports my weight, which is unusual. Besides, then you get a view of the blue van. Blue vanning away there. The blue van. And then over there is, I don't know if you call it an industrial area. There's various things there. Many of them are connected to the airport, but not all of them. Actually, it would have been better staying on the pavement because this is very rough. You've got these little tufts of grass, which are like potholes in the decaying snow surface. So it's, oh, you see the geese up there on the horizon? Big flocks of them have been going over all the time, working up the gumption to head south. I don't know if they show up very well on the, especially at the 720 level, but see the geese? If they keep coming, once I get a little closer to the creek, they'll be coming right over my head, as they did a few nights ago when I got some good shots of them. Goosapalooza, if you look that up on my walking in Regina. Oh, my head's getting hot, so I'm going to take off my hat. Sky's full of them there. They keep going all the way back there. So here's the creek again. That's the Louvain Bridge, which you walk under. I have many times on these walks. And we're going this way now. Now we really have turned around and are headed home. The path over there. For some reason the geese are mostly a little north of me right now. Oh, here's a nice dry bit of pavement. I like that in a pavement. They're still all the way back there, still coming. I think some of them will be coming over my head momentarily. Right, here we go, Edward Street. Best named street in the city. Unless there's a Willett Street, which there isn't. I think they're all going to go just that little bit north of me instead of right over my head. Probably because I'm not quite on the creek here. Headed for the lake, I guess. Although why they don't just go south, I don't know. Up there. There's no Willett in Regina. I know there's one in England I've seen. I'm sure there's others. I mean, it's an old English name. This is Pasqua again, and I'll turn into the interior soon. Street lights are coming on. I don't think weather has much to do with it. I figure it's more to do with length of day. And although it's been fairly mild this week, I think if you averaged it out, there's been nothing. I don't believe there's been anything particularly unusual. I mean, we've had snow on the ground already now for close to a month. One blizzard. One cold snap. Not really cold, but sub-zero Fahrenheit. And we'll be there again tomorrow night, apparently. Supposed to go to minus 22 tomorrow night, or more, or less, however you say that. Speaking of not having your sidewalk properly cleared, oh, it's for sale. That might have something to do with it. Maybe it's empty. It's probably empty. Then you'd think it'd be the real estate agent's job. Well, you can tell them getting ready for it because the flocks get bigger and bigger. When they're just going out to feed in fields and they come back to the lake, they'd fly over in small groups. But now they're coming over at about sunset here, huge numbers. And the next step will be to head south, I'm sure. We're homeward bound. I thought this might be a shorter walk, but I think actually it's going to be a full hour by the time we get back. Yeah, and I'm going to have to put my hat back on. My ears are getting cold again as the sun sinks lower. The temperature sinks lower, not really the sun. Well, it is the sun. But anyway, it's getting cooler. Yeah, it'll be minus 22 Celsius. It's the current low I've seen calling for Sunday night. Cooling off from now until then with snow. So it's probably a cold front coming in. Well, it's obviously a cold front coming in. Let's go down here. Because the sidewalk, but the street looks so clear. Although the sidewalk does too, so I suppose I should walk on the sidewalk. Oh, I smell food. Smells great. I don't know what it is. Curry, maybe? Well, it's kind of at 16th. Well, I did not know that was where Actor had set up shop. Well, with the sad state of the film industry in Saskatchewan these days, not nearly as busy as it was when we actually had more of a film industry, before the government got rid of subsidies for it. Working my way to the sidewalk. Regina Avenue is over there. We'll go by this first, and then Sheldon Williams will be around the corner up here. Oh, I know that book. Atlas of Mythical Places. Also, if you look around, you should find something with my name on it. Possibly not currently, but often. Or E.C. Blake. Might still have something hanging around in the science fiction fantasy section if it's a big enough store. Chapters Rideau, I would think, is a good size store. I don't know what the current state is of stock of my books because I haven't had anything new from a major publisher for a while. My next one from Daw Books in New York comes out next fall, so Shadowpaw Press has put out stuff, but that isn't necessarily picked up since I don't have the same level of marketing and distribution. Here's Sheldon Williams Collegiate. Of course, auditorium, where I went to those band concerts. If you wanted to shoot a movie set in 50s high school, this would be the place to come. Certainly has that look. I thought there was a place called Atlas of Mythical Places. It must be the same book. imagined places. Must be the same one I'm thinking of. Check the time. Sun's down. Didn't notice much difference. Street lights are coming on. That's about it. Very gray, thick cloud. Oh, say goodbye to Sheldon Williams Collegiate. Keep going this way. Home awaits. But still some little distance. You go up there to the lake, to the creek, and cross at the crosswalk there. Or I go down this way and cross where I crossed before. I think I'll go this way. Walk along the dike maybe. Geese are still passing up there. Long string of them. In school zone, I can speed up. Don't have to drive 30 kilometers an hour anymore. Boy, that's slow. Used to be 40. A couple of years ago, they changed it to 30, and it is up painfully slow. Another free library, little free library here. There's quite a few of them around. I often think I should, oh, there's some lights over there. I often think I should carry books around with me, at least one on every walk, and stick it in the first little free library I come across. Some of the ones that I can't sell anymore. New editions, and there's old ones or stuff like that. Oh, there's another V-shaped one going by. There must have been thousands of them go by since I first noticed them. There's this footbridge. Oh, there we go. I figured they'd come over my head if I came closer to the creek. This will take us by the house up here with lots of Christmas lights that I noted on a previous walk, I guess when I went down the creek on Monday. Yeah, that's what's been coming over all the time now. Comes another one. Smaller, catching up, I guess. How cold is it here? It's right around freezing, a little bit below freezing, Lucas. And high. But it's cooling off over the next day, so I think it was just around 0 Celsius when I came out, maybe a degree or two below. It's gotten cooler since I've walked. Not going terribly cold tonight, -7 or something. And then tomorrow it gets colder all day, and tomorrow night it goes to -22 Celsius, which is What do you think? About -6 Fahrenheit, I guess. Pretty close. More of them coming over. Yeah, this house weather goes all out. There they go. More. And more. And more. And more, but I can't keep pointing the camera at them. Yep, they're still coming. Thousands of them have flown over, I'm sure, since I first spotted them. Hundreds, but I'd say thousands. These are Canada geese. Out in the country, sometimes you'll see huge flocks of snow geese. And they rise up. It really is like a cloud taking off. Because they're white, too, so... And the next one. They know what time it is. It's sunset. Time to be heading places and doing things. Getting ready for the night. We're going to cross the Elphinstone. Oh, there goes another one. We're going to cross the Elphinstone Street Bridge. And then walk along the dike on the other side, which is a bit more direct for heading home. One more. I imagine there'll be more yet. Oh, here's the horseshoe pitch. I always point out the horseshoe pitch. I've only ever seen somebody playing horseshoes on it once. But, by the way, how's my sound? Has that been good today? It sounds up close and not like it's coming over the camera mic. Then over the creek. There's the creek. Geese can overwinter even here. Ducks can't. Ducks have to have open water to feed. But I don't know if those geese that used to do it, I mean, that was generations ago for them, of course. But when the powerhouse, which is now the Saskatchewan Science Centre, when it was still a powerhouse, there was open water there because of warm water coming out of it into the lake. And there were geese that started overwintering because they didn't have to fly south, and ducks. When that went away and the lake started freezing again, here they come again. It's funny how there's always one side of the V that's longer than the other. When that went away, as I understand it, some geese continued to overwinter because they are capable of it. So it can't be easy for them. But I guess they find bare patches of grass and whatever. But the ducks quit overwintering. So I don't know if any geese still overwinter or not. But they did at one time, even in Regina. And of course, there are birds that overwinter. I mean, there's sparrows and chickadees and things that seem to be around all winter. That's why people put out bird feeders. Oh, you can even see the legislative dome lit up there in the distance. No, this is going to be more than an hour. I thought it was going to be a short walk, but I was enjoying myself so much. I just kept going and going. It's the ever ready, it's the Eddie ready. There's a joke there somewhere. I couldn't quite find it. The ever Eddie battery. The ever Eddie battery. There we go. And the ever Eddie battery. I just keep going and going and going. So do the geese. I can actually do this safely along here because there's no ice on the path. Otherwise, it's a heck of a good way to fall down. So take your eyes off where your feet are going. We'll leave the creek because that's a Monday walk. Go down here, a couple of more blocks, and I will be home. Home where my music's playing, home. Actually, that's the second part. Home where my love lies waiting, home where my music's playing. No, that's not it either, because the third one is where my heart's escaping, home where my music's playing, home where my love lies waiting silently for me. Which, I mean, come on, she's not really. She's got other things to do than lie silently waiting for you to show up. And there's another one. Yet another V. I don't like the looks of this. I don't like icy stuff going downhill. That's the worst. See? It almost got me and I was looking right at the ground. I'm okay. I thought I was walking in the rough snow, but there was a patch of ice and my foot slipped because it was downhill. Anyway. We're out of it now. My gimbal's on the verge of running out of battery power. My phone is giving me a low power warning, so I'd better wrap this up pretty quick, or it might wrap it up for me. It's the worst patch yet. Okay. Gravel along this fence here. Yes, that was a little close for comfort, that slip. But I caught myself. Oof. A few lights there. The geese continue. Won't be pointing at them while I'm on this stuff. There they go past the lights there. Through this bit of a park. Here's Leopold Crescent, which nestles Angus Crescent, which nestles Connaught, which is a half crescent. Oh, it turned upside down when I slipped. Just a second. It's pointing at the ground. Oh, and there I think the the gimbal got confused there too. Okay, hopefully that made the sound better again. Oh, the gimbal is losing its oomph. Okay. I didn't charge it up last night, so I'm going to take the camera off the gimbal and just carry it the rest of the way, which isn't ideal because it'll be much jerkier, but the gimbal's useless now. So I find a place I can stand safely, I'll fold up the gimbal. Is the sound better? At least, as the picture goes all haywire? I think maybe the colder it is, the less battery life I get too, so. Still low volume. Well, maybe the battery is getting weak. Well, here. Plugged it back in. Does that help? Unplugged it and plugged it back in. Now you see it's going to be much rougher walk now. This is why I got the gimbal to begin with. You may experience motion sickness. At least you can still see the lights along here. Another little free library here. More geese. Did the volume improve when I unplugged it and plugged it back in? Anyone? Anyone at all? Is it still faint? Perhaps I'm dead entirely and there's no sound at all. That's entirely possible. See, no matter how hard you try to hold it steady, how carefully, you can't. So if you're going to do this live streaming thing, you really do need to have a gimbal. But I'm almost home, so whatever happens, most of the walk was good anyway. Lots of lights over there. Sound is low. Don't know what causes that. It's so weird. It's so weird. Both of these were fully charged when I headed out. See, the other thing I can do is unplug the mic. And then you just get the camera mic. So now we got jerky video and mediocre sound to finish off this walk. All part of the walking experience. But I'm going to stop at this next intersection anyway, so practically done. Actually, it's just the sound off the camera, which isn't nearly as good. Better for ambient sound, I guess, but not as good for voice because it keeps adjusting to whatever the sound is going on. Anyway, a little more Christmas lights, and then this is the last block, and then I will call it quits. Sound is not mediocre. You like it this way? I mean, when I first did the walks, I'd never wore a mic, but the wind noise is really what convinced me I should. And when it works, it's great, but it keeps cutting out on me for no reason I can perceive. Lots of lights on this house on the corner here. Thanks for walking with me. Thanks for walking with me, and this is where I will stop at my usual stop sign. Yes, go Riders tomorrow. Bye for now.